Welcome to another Audioversity training video featuring DM7 and DM3 series. This time I'll show you how to get started with using OSC for remote control and automation. OSC, or Open Sound Control, is a networked control protocol often used with electronic musical instruments and audio equipment. There's a wide variety of software and apps available to tweak parameters, recall scenes, manage level fades, and automate full shows. It has uses in exhibitions, theatres, houses of worship, corporate events, and many other entertainment and educational applications. One popular example of such software is called Qlab, developed by Figure 53. This software actually integrates sound, video, lighting, and show control cues, allowing users to construct and run a complete show from one place. And it includes easy command configuration for a range of Yamaha digital mixers, including DM7 and DM3 series. As a result, programming is quicker and easier than ever before. So I'll talk you through how to get connected, then get you started with some of the preset commands. And then I'll talk you through the process for manual command entry in case you're planning to use other software solutions. Firstly, this is a network-based protocol, so we need a network connection between computer and mixer. If you have more than 2 mixers in the system, use a network switch, such as one from Yamaha's SWP, SWR, or SWX range. You could use Wi-Fi from the computer, by the way, if you have a router or access point. We need to use the network port of the mixing desk, not the Dante port. To check the IP address of the DM7, open its menu and touch Setup, and then open the Network screen. Look at the 4 mixer control screen, and you can choose to work with DHCP or with a static IP address. Choose DHCP if you have a router in the network which can provide IP addresses automatically. Otherwise, set a static IP address. Make sure it's using a different subnet or range of numbers to the other page here for device control. I'm going to use 192.168.1.7, and the subnet mask should be 255.255.255.0 and a gateway address of 192.168.1.1. Apply. And while we're here, just check the console firmware version is up to date in the general setup screen. Version 1.7 or newer is good. With DM3 in the same network, I want to control both from one computer, so it will need to be in the same subnet. Open the Setup menu and touch Network. In for mixer control, set a static IP address. I must use 192.168.1. And then I'm going to give it the number 3. Subnet mask and gateway, they can be the same as the DM7. Closing that and touching About shows me that I'm running version 3.0, which is good. Now, of course, I need to ensure my computer is in the same subnet too. Open its network settings and set the static IP address. It needs to start with 192.168.1, of course. Then I'll give it a number 2. Then use the same subnet mask and router settings as with the other devices. And we are ready to get started with Qlab. If you're trying it out for the first time, there's a free demo mode which allows network commands for 60 minutes each time. This is a great way to get to know how it works and test its capabilities before committing to a rental period or one-time full purchase. Just make sure you're using the latest release version. I have 5.4.9. Find it at qlab.app/download. The first thing we need to do in Qlab is set up a network patch for each device. Start a new workspace, and then let's enlarge the screen. Go to the bottom right corner and see the Setup cog. Select Network on the left side and edit the visible patch. Let's call it DM3. Then select the type. There's a long list of types of patch available. Scroll way down and you will find Yamaha DM3 and DM3S. The network should be UDP and set the interface to the computer network adapter you are using. The destination address must be the IP address we gave the DM3. So that's 192.168.1.3, and the port number is 49900. Let's add another network patch for the DM7. And now the type, again scroll down and we'll find DM7 series. Same network setting and interface, and the destination must be 192.168.1.7, the IP address we gave the DM7. And the port number again is 49900. Click Done to close that window. Now we are able to create some network queues. Click on the icon that looks a bit like a snowflake, though it represents a network. In the inspector view below, click on the settings, and for patch you can choose between your devices. I'll choose the DM3, and then you have a large selection of preset categories and commands listed below. Let's start with something simple. Input channel 1 on off. And let's set on. Press send on the right of the screen to test it. And then let's change the command to off and send again. Yes, it's working. So let's now move over to the basics tab and give the queue a name. DM3 channel 1 on. Now let's try something with fader movement. Create a new network queue, and in the settings select the DM3 patch, choose input channel 1 and fader level. Now we see a slider with a range from minus 13,800, which is equivalent to minus infinity, up to 1,000, which is equivalent to plus 10 dB. Divide the command value by 100 to get the decibel value. But for now, let's type 0 and send. The fader jumps to 0 dB. Type minus 5,000 and resend. And it jumps to -50 dB. With level and pan parameters, Qlab offers an additional option, fade. Tick this box to set a start and end point for the fader. I will move from -6000 to 0, and I'll go for a 3-second duration. Send and watch the fader move. You can even customize the curve if you don't wish it to be linear. Now let's look at scene recall commands. Create another network queue using the DM3 patch. And if you select the category Scene List A Recall, then a specific scene memory can be recalled. Select the scene by moving the slider or by typing a number. Press send to test. Alternatively, use the category for current scene list next or previous to progress sequentially through the mixer's list of programmed scenes. Now let's look at some DM7 OSC commands. Create a new network queue and select the DM7 patch. For input channels, we can see there is a longer list of commands, including labels and EQ parameters. Let's switch the high-pass filter on for input channel 1. Then let's make an additional cue to set the high-pass filter frequency to 125 Hz. So another network queue for DM7 patch, input channel 1, high-pass filter frequency. And now we type the number 1250 for 125 Hz. If you want both of these cues to be executed at the same time, Qlab has some helpful automation. Select the HPF on queue, look at the Basics tab in the inspector, and set the Continue option to Auto Continue. It's also advised to set a short wait time before activating the next queue, so the mixer has time to process each command. It can be very short, like 0.01 seconds. Set that in the post-wait time. Let's reset the HPF settings and test by firing the first queue. And the second will follow automatically. Now let's look at the channel labels. Create a new network queue for DM7. Select input channel 1 and the label name command. Now there's a free field to type a channel name. I'm going to type Andy. And let's send to test. In another queue, the label color or icon can also be set from a drop-down list. Let's see this label color and see how the selection here changes the string command below. This gives us a clue for when we want to manually program things. Though you could always look up the OSC specifications for each mixer. They can be downloaded from our website. By the way, OSC commands are also available for Rivage PM series, as well as the DM7 signal processor. Let's try a bit of manual programming with Qlab. Create a new network patch with the type OSC message. Give it the same settings as the DM7 patch. Create a new network queue and use this new OSC message patch. It will present a blank field for us to type our messages, and this will test our programming skills. Let's try to recall scene 1.0. Remember that DM7 includes subscenes with a decimal point. Looking in the OSC specifications, we see what we should type. /YOSC rec /SS recall TEX scene A quote 1.00. Make sure you get it exactly right for it to work with the lines, spaces and quote marks. Inside the quote marks, you type the actual scene number you wish to recall. Notice a small difference here between DM3 and DM7. For DM3, we can type SS recall EX scene A and then a scene number without quotes. This is because the DM3 scene numbers are fixed integers. And note that to recall scenes 0 to 9, 2 digits are required, so type 00 or 09 for example. For DM7, we type SS recall T underscore EX with the additional T. Here, scene A or scene B is used for split mode. So only scene A is used when the mixer operates in default mode. A T is added to scene recall T because the DM7 scene number is now expressed as a text string rather than an integer. Well, I hope that's enough information to get you started with your own automation programming. Qlab allows one OSC message per queue, so you'll need to duplicate queues and modify them to recall additional scenes later. Use other OSC tools to provide a simplified user interface so less skilled operators can use the mixers, or allow far more complex changes to be automated than one human alone could handle in real time. Don't forget to download the OSC specs and the latest firmware from Yamaha's website in the description. Bye for now.